What's up, people? I'm Anthony. Glad to have you here. Today is basically Movie Appreciation Day. I've accepted the top 10 Wow Movie Moments challenge from fellow YouTuber Jonathan. His channel is called Man of Movies. A link to his spot will be in the description below. I recommend checking it out and giving him a sub. Thanks for the shout out and a tag, Jonathan. You the man. So, what's a wow movie moment? In my mind, they're key scenes that stick with you. They remain permanently etched in your brain right alongside your ability to recite your favorite song or ride a bike.
I meant to do that.
What follows are my top 10 moments in movies that made me go wow. Keep in mind, spoilers are ahead. My number 10 wow movie moment is from John Carpenter's original Halloween movie from 1978. The scene that really got me was the disappearance of Michael Myers. Halloween is one of the earliest horror movies I can recall seeing when I was younger. I remember being relieved at the sight of Michael Myers getting blasted away by Dr. Loomis. I was like, thank God, they got the bad guy. No more chasing, no more killing, everything's gonna be alright. Nope. What a brilliant scene. I mean, when you think about it, all this is an overhead shot of emptiness. Yet, it has such an impact. Paired with the iconic music, the horrified reactions of Donald Pleasance and Jamie Lee Curtis, this closing scene is terrifying. And before the credits even roll, the tension is amped up as the ominous sound of Michael's breathing is heard. You now get this eerie sensation. Not only did Michael survive multiple gunshots, but he's still out there and he can be anywhere. Number 9 on my list is a wow moment from the first Avengers movie in 2012. Can you believe it's been that long? Obviously, the Marvel movies have all had tons of wow moments, but for me, the now iconic Avengers Assemble scene still gets me pumped. I still recall seeing this scene when the camera circled the unified team of heroes. Hulk, Hawkeye, Thor, Black Widow, Captain America, and Iron Man. There he is, Iron Man. I saw this in the theater with my brothers. Everyone loved it. This moment got cheers from everybody. The best part of all, even though the team was way overmatched, you knew that somehow they would pull off a victory. Number 8 on my list is a scene from Anton Fuqua's 2001 badass crime thriller Training Day. I'm hoping the rest of you have seen this movie because the wow moment requires some context. After being set up and abandoned by his partner, Jake realizes that Smiley and his crew have been paid to kill him. Jake attempts to flee, but this situation is pretty much hopeless. He's quickly taken down and dragged to the bathroom to be finished off. Everything about this is intense as hell. The movie doesn't pull any punches, so the possibility of Jake being killed isn't really out of the question. The true wow moment came right before Smiley pulled the trigger on Jake. One of the gang members searched Jake for money and found the wallet of a teenage girl. But the teenage girl happened to be Smiley's cousin. Jake insisted he only had the wallet because he'd saved the teenage girl earlier that day. After calling his little cousin, Smiley confirmed Jake did in fact save her. And with that, Jake's life was saved. So was this coincidence a bit much? Nope. Trippy shit like that can and does happen.
This is some trippy ass shit, Holmes.
What I like best about this wow moment was that it demonstrates how Jake's good-hearted nature and his selflessness from earlier in the movie paid off. Good karma. Number 7 on my list is a pretty famous scene from Quentin Tarantino's 1994 classic, Pulp Fiction. Despite all of the over-top violence in this movie, it was actually one of the more subtle moments that got me. After Bruce Willis' character Butch refused to throw a fight for Marcellus Wallace, he became a wanted man. The wow moment occurred when Butch had just escaped certain death. He was basically home free. He's driving, he's smug, he's on his way to meet his girlfriend, and they're ready to live happily ever after. He thinks he's beaten everyone at their own game. Then boom, Marcellus Wallace, the very last person on earth he wanted to run into, spots him while he stopped at a traffic light. Butch, of course, freaks out and rams his car into Marcellus, leaving them both temporarily down for the count. As a side note, my guess is most of you probably already know this bit of trivia, but I like how this scene is a nod to Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. I'm talking about the scene when Marion is on the run after stealing $40,000 from her boss. She doesn't ram into him the way Bruce Willis does, but you get the point. Number 6 on my list is Star Wars Return of the Jedi, 1983. All the Star Wars movies are jam-packed with amazing moments. My favorite wow moment is the scene when Emperor Palpatine is blasting the hell out of Luke. Darth Vader stands by watching as his only son is slowly being tortured and murdered by this creepy, dried-up maniac. Luke pleads with his father to help him. As we all know, Darth Vader does finally turn back toward the light. He picks up Palpatine and tosses him down a hole. This is one of the greatest wow movie moments any Star Wars fan could ever ask for. It was epic. Number 5 on my list is either terrifying or hilarious, depending on your age. I don't know, maybe it can be both. The movie is Pee-wee's Big Adventure from 1985, and this is one of those times I'll just let the insanity of the moment speak for itself.
And when they finally pulled the driver's body from the twisted, burning wreck, it looked like this.
Number 4 on my list is the final moments in the rematch between Rocky and Apollo Creed from the movie Rocky II, 1979. Once again, Rocky and Apollo spent round after round pounding the living hell out of each other. But what it all came down to was both men trading punches until they actually ended up knocking each other down. We then go into that trademark intense slow-mo that we saw in many Rocky movies. Very dramatic, very effective. Apollo and Rocky both struggled to get to their feet. Ultimately, the Italian stallion was able to make it up by the count of 9, and with that, Rocky was declared the winner, making him the new champ. These were the longest, most intense 9 seconds in any of the Rocky movies. Number 3 on my list is one of many wow moments from the 1985 classic Back to the Future. I'm tempted to just make a montage of wow moments from this movie, but in the interest of keeping it simple, let's just go with the iconic moment when George McFly finally stood up to Biff Tannen.
Hey you, get your damn hands off. Oh.
Biff was basically in the middle of assault in the rain when George, who had spent the entire movie being bullied by Biff, was suddenly faced with the ultimate challenge. Walk away or man up to this tub of shit. As we all know, George McFly did stand up to Biff. One solid punch was all it took. This was a moment so great, I didn't even mind seeing it all over again in Back to the Future Part 2. Number 2 on my list is a chilling moment from the 2015 horror movie, It Follows. Now this one may be somewhat unknown by a few people, so I'll quickly give some context. It Follows was about a young woman named Jay, who's burdened with a nightmarish curse, and it's one of the more unique curses I think I've ever seen in any horror movie. It can only be passed via sexual transmission. Jay is relentlessly followed, as the title suggests, by a sinister force. The entity can take any form, and only those afflicted can see it. Needless to say, this movie is thoroughly unnerving, and our lead has many close calls throughout the film. However, one standout wow moment occurred when Jamie had barricaded herself up in her room.
Don't open the door. See? Everything's okay.
Jay spends the entire movie in a state of dread, and we go right along for the ride. It was tough picking just one wow moment from this movie, but ultimately, I went with the visit from the tall man. Number 1 on my list is a wow moment from the 1972 epic, The Godfather. The moment I'm referring to is arguably one of the most famous mobster hits in movie history. I'm talking, of course, about the intense meeting between young Michael Corleone, who was feigning a desire to settle a dispute in his family.
What I want, what's most important to me, is that I have a guarantee. No more attempts on my father's life.
This entire scene is a slow, well-paced, methodical build-up. The tension hits a fever pitch, though, after Michael's retrieved the handgun planted by Peter Clemenza. Now, keep in mind Michael had been specifically told to come out of the bathroom blasting after he got the gun. Instead, Michael sits down and continues to listen to Sollozzo. Sollozzo babbles on, while the train nearby is heard overhead. The rumble of the train likely represents Michael's inner turmoil in this intense moment. What an incredible moment. Upon first viewing, you aren't sure, is this going to go bad? Is Michael having a second thoughts? It wasn't only a memorable moment, but it's also a huge turning point for Michael's character. Those were my picks for best wow movie moments. I hope everybody enjoyed. Here are my 7 tags. Yup, I'm tagging 7 people because that's how I roll. I break all the rules. These are all awesome people with cool channels. Hopefully they'll participate. In any case, check out their channels as well. Show them some love. Hit sub, support. Links to all of their spots will be in the description below. Thank you for watching. Later.